Yes, sir.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay, great. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to be um, basically what we're going to do is to help you sign up for a MetaMask wallet. So if you could, you haven't signed up. Okay. Um, so Adam Rips is joining me today, and he's going to be helping out in the chat. So Adam, if the first thing that I wanted to do is to kind of get a gauge on who has a wallet currently set up and who does not. So if you could, please let me know in the chat whether or not you have a wallet set up or if you do not. Edgar, nice. Charlie, okay. Not yet, not yet. I do. Don't, but I'm aware of MetaMask. Nice. MetaMask setup. Yes. Okay. Okay. So I guess what I'll do is this, is that it seems almost a little bit of 50-50 here. So what I'm going to do is I'll do a quick rundown of what a wallet is, and then I'm going to show a video about the wallet. And then we can kind of slowly go through the video for the people that don't have a wallet set up. I would like it if you set up a wallet while we're doing this, if possible. And then at the end, we can ask questions. And I will kind of go through the how to set up a wallet slowly so the people that are setting it up can do it while we're doing it. So great. So first thing I want to say is, what is a crypto wallet? And a crypto wallet is basically what you're going to need to transact on the blockchain. So a crypto wallet interacts with the blockchain. It allows you to buy NFTs and basically just transact. Now, with a crypto wallet, there are two types. There's a hot and a soft or a cold. I'm sorry, hot or cold. Basically, I call it a transaction wallet and a vault wallet or something to that effect. But basically, the software wallets are extensions that you can add onto your browser, Chrome browser, I prefer. And a hardware wallet is something that is a little added security, but we'll get into that a little bit later. When you're setting up your wallet, which we will be doing, your secret phrase or your seed phrase, they kind of are interchangeable. They are your holy grail. You do not want to share that with anybody. I'm sure in the video, I think I hammer the fact that we don't want to share that with anybody to the point where we don't even keep that on our computer. We write it down on a piece of paper, and we hide that in our house in a couple different spots, or in the bank account, like a bank vault or something like that, security box. I forget what they're called, sorry. But the secret phrase is your social security number, your bank PIN. If anyone has it, your wallet is compromised and everything inside of it is going to be compromised. So that is a crypto wallet. There are a bunch of different crypto wallets. The popular ones, we're going to be using MetaMask. That's the one that we're going to suggest. It's the most common one. So you're probably going to, any transactions that you're going to be doing on the blockchain, MetaMask is going to be involved pretty much. But there are other ones. If you want to do your own research and one fits you better, then, I'm not going to argue with you. One of the things I wanted to hit was you can do a wallet on your phone, which is mobile. But we do not suggest that in the beginning. Let's wait until you're experts. We want to suggest that you're doing it on a desktop computer. Like I said, on Chrome, hopefully on desktop. That's your best bet. A lot of times I've done modding and admin, and if there's issues with something that you're doing with your wallet, a lot of times the first question that we're going to ask is, what browser you're using, and are you on mobile? And if you are, we say get off of mobile because it's just a little bit more glitchy. Some things don't support mobile right now, but just in general, it's easier to use desktop. So while we're starting off, that's what we're going to suggest. Now we're going to play the video of how to set it up. So everybody that does not have a wallet, let's start to pay attention, and I'm going to go through this pretty slow. and we can kind of talk through it, and hopefully you can follow along. And by the end of this, you'll have a wallet. And if you have trouble by the end of the video, at the end, we'll do some Q&A and we'll be in the chat. You can ask, but let's play. Today, we're going to learn how to download and add the Metamask wallet extension to our Google Chrome browser. We're going to use Metamask because it's the most widely used wallet. There's other wallets available, but for our demonstration purposes, Metamask is what we chose. So the first thing we're going to do is go to metamask.io. So I'm going to pause that right there. So everybody that's doing this at home, metamask.io is the link. Whenever you're doing anything with your wallet, you're connecting your wallet or you're setting up your wallet, we want to make sure that we're going to the correct URL. So go to metamask.io, make sure that's the URL. So that's the first and most important thing that I can tell you when you're connecting or, basically using your wallet for anything in Web3. So go to
which is the website that you can download the extension. Always double check the URL whenever you're downloading or connecting your wallet to any site. We're very early into Web 3.0, and one of the exploits that people use is creating a site that looks almost identical to a site that you're trying to go to, and then being able to exploit you that way. So make sure it's the correct URL, the correct .io, not .com or .org in circumstances. So we're at metamask.io, which is proper, and we're going to go to the top right, and we're going to hit download. You can see the supported browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Brave, and Edge. We're going with the most user-friendly in my experience, which is going to be Chrome. You can see that on the top, it is already prompted us to use Chrome. There's a tab for iOS and Android, but once again, we're going to go with the easiest, which is going to be Chrome on our desktop. They do have mobile, but it is it's less buggy and it's a much easier experience with desktop and Chrome. So that's what we're suggesting here. So it's going to say install MetaMask for Chrome.
Now I know what you're saying. You're saying, boy, that voice sounds really bizarre. Yes, that is my voice. So hopefully it's not freaking you out too much to hear it on the video and then also talking to you in real time. But wanted to make sure you're hitting Chrome on the prompts up there. Like I said, let's not do iOS or Android right now. So hopefully you click that, and that's the next step.
And it's going to bring us to the Chrome Web Store. And we want to add to Chrome. And we want to make sure it's the correct one, which it is. And you'll see a video on the bottom from the MetaMask team. And we always suggest getting as much information as possible. And add the extension. So we can navigate away from the Chrome store, see the extensions tab, and we want to actually add it to the top bar. So we'll click that and then pin it. And now you can.
Sorry, I had to unmute. So now that we've downloaded the extension and we can see it there, on the top there on your browser, you'll see a little puzzle piece. And if you click that, we want to pin the the MetaMask extension, so it's constantly in the top right there. You'll see a little picture of a little cute fox. And the way to do that is when you open up that puzzle piece, you can just hit the pin until it's blue.
You can see the cute little fox on the top right there. So once we click there, we want to open up the MetaMask site, and you'll be able to see that we go to MetaMask and that we can get started. But first, check out that the fox will follow our mouse. So get started. And here you have two options. We're going to use yes, let's get set up. That's for someone with no wallet or anything like that. The other option, no, I already have a secret recovery phrase, is if you've already set up a wallet, which for our purposes, you have not. So let's get set up. Help us improve MetaMask. I would read through this, do your own research. It's not going to be giving your information, exposing you in any way. So I clicked agree, but check it out and read it yourself. We'll create a password. And with this password, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. I don't like to keep my passwords or recovery phrase on my computer. We'll get to that in the security section, but let's click that. And
I keep launching into talking before unmuting myself. So I'm going to give people a second to choose their password. I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time to kind of decide. Yeah. So I already in the video started to talk about basically writing down the password on a separate piece of paper. And I'll start to hammer this home, is that password as well as your seed phrase. You want to keep that super safe. Some of the exploits, people can do key fobbing if you go to the wrong site. Then if also, when I probably say this in the video, so apologies for hearing it again, but some of the exploits is you go to the wrong website and people ask, it looks like your MetaMask wallet opens up and asks you for your seed phrase, and then you punch it in. Like it's very complex and really well done kind of scams that could potentially be exploitative to getting your seed phrase. So that's why you want to write it on a separate piece of paper and put it away in a couple different spots and make sure that you're being as safe as possible. Adam, if you need me to stop at any point, please let me know.
And move forward. So now that we have this password, we're going to go to secure your wallet here. So let's take a little bit of time to talk about what a secret recovery phrase is. It's a 12-word phrase that is your master key to your wallet and your funds. So I can't stress how important the secret recovery phrase is. Everyone wants it. Every scammer is going to be trying to get it. You might hear seed phrase. It was called seed phrase before secret recovery phrase, but it's basically the same terminology. So you're going to be writing this down on a piece of paper, not keeping it on your computer because it can get exploited. And I'd write it on a couple of pieces of paper and put it in a couple of different places. And then you would want to watch this video and read the information on this little tab. But I want to stress how important it is. It's your bank information. It's your social security number. It's if they have access to your wallet and your seed recovery phrase, they have access to everything in your wallet and all your NFTs, all your funds, and hopefully all your NFTs are going to be valuable and precious to you. So we want to make sure that you're as safe as possible. And let's hit next. So secret recovery phrase, once we click here, for our purposes, we'll show it because this is just kind of a test. But today we're going to learn how to download an app. But once we click this, it shows you the 12 words, the holy grail of your password. So make sure you write this down on a piece of paper a couple of times exactly in the order that it is. If you lose this, you lose everything. And if you give this up, you give up everything. So I'm hoping that I am stressing this enough for you. We want to write this stuff down. We're going to need that. But some tips on the right.
So when you write it down, make sure that you're writing it down exactly in the order in which it's coming. You might even want to number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But this is the secret recovery phase. Yeah, like I said, this is the most important thing. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that you buy an NFT that is worth, tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you don't have your seed phrase, if you lose it, there's nothing you can do. It's lost. So just want to re-emphasize, this is super important.
Store this phrase in a password manager. I would not do that. Write this on a piece of paper. I would do that. Memorize this phrase. I have people that memorize it. Just be careful. If you memorize it, you might be quick to use it. So you always want your brain to always know if someone asks for that, you want everything to come to a screeching halt. But here, let's confirm that exactly how we saw it on the page before. And I'll take this time to continually stress how important the secret recovery phrase is. So, yeah, always make sure that you're keeping it safe, please. We will talk about it in security, but like pretty much no one will ever ask you for your secret recovery phrase. A website will not ask you. So if any website does, even if it's Firefox, there's potentially an exploit there. Everything should come to a complete halt in your mind, and you want to reset and make sure everything is safe. Never give it up.
So yeah, couple things. Couple things. One, I said like if you memorize it, you could be quick to use it. A friend of mine memorized his secret recovery phrase, and then a website asked him for it. And what I meant by like him automatically doing it, like sometimes you need that time to like, oh, I'm going to grab my secret recovery phrase to add it somewhere. Like if you memorize it, there's a potential you're like, boom, 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 boom. Speed and FOMO is your enemy in this space. You want to make sure you're taking your time and all that sort of stuff. What else was I going to say about that? Oh yeah. No one's going to ask you for your secret recovery phrase. It is so rare that that happens. The only time that I've seen it happen is sometimes your MetaMask that was set up is compromised in a not a negative security sort of way. And then you have to reset it up, like maybe kind of delete it from your extensions and then re-download it. And that potential, like you would have to re-enter your recovery phrase. But any other time than that, no one's going to ask. So if something does ask you, chances are that it's a scam. So anytime from here forward, after you sign up, make sure that you take your time and knowing that if something is asked about your recovery phrase, then it's probably an issue.
So congratulations, you've downloaded and added the extension to Google Chrome. You've done it. You now have a wallet, and we're very, very proud. So read through all the information, and we want to click I'm done here, and then we'll go check out the wallet a little bit. So it's just saying what's new. They're talking a little bit about where transactions are easier to read. But in your wallet, you're basically going to be.
So if anyone actually did download it and are now here, congratulations, you now have a wallet. That's awesome. Looking at the YouTube video, you'll notice that this is in a tab. Most of the times, if you click the little fox, it'll open up a little side window that basically is the same view. But now that you have your MetaMask, account one is your public wallet address. If you ever need someone to send you money, or you need to send money from Coinbase to your wallet, then that's what you use. The 0 ETH will eventually show you the balance of your ETH. Underneath that, it'll show you the dollar amount. And then buy, sell, and swap are basically third-party extensions, not extensions, but third-party apps that you can buy Ethereum, send Ethereum to somebody, or swap it. We do most of that stuff on Coinbase, but that's what those are. It's possible through the wallet. Fees might be a little bit more, options aren't as good, but that's what that is. And on the bottom left, it says assets. A question that I get a lot is, where will I see my NFTs when I have them? And a lot of people say in your wallet, and you can, like a wallet, your NFTs aren't stored in your wallet, but they can help you view them. But even the MetaMask wallet itself, sometimes you have to manually add that token to your wallet so you see it under assets. A lot of times, even maybe most times, it's not shown under assets. You have to physically do it yourself. So most people go to a secondary market like OpenSea or Looks Rare to your profile to see all the NFTs that you have there. That's a great place that most of us check our NFTs. Next to assets, but I guess my point is that majority of the time people don't go to their MetaMask wallet to actually see their NFTs. Their activity next to that, anytime you're doing a transaction, it'll show under the activity, whether it's pending, whether it's completed, all that sort of stuff. And if you click on the activity, it'll bring you to Etherscan, which is kind of like the official documentation and kind of ledger of all of the stuff that's happening, what's going through. So that's like the official stuff. But let's see what else I got in the video.
Looking at your options here, buy, send, swap. Those are all going to be like kind of third-party wallet address, which you're going to be giving that to people that you want to send money to, or if they want to send you something. It's not a secret or anything like that. You can give that out pretty regularly, and it's not a problem. But let's go to buy. You can deposit ETH through here. Like I said, these are third-party apps, so we'll go over that a little bit. But send, you would put in, if you wanted to send money to somebody like me, you could put my wallet address in there. And then if you want to swap ETH for a different token, you can as well there. So those are basically the pretty standard options for your wallet. On the bottom there, it says assets and activity. So assets, when you get something, you'll see it. And then activity, it'll show you that as well. We'll go over that more a little bit later. And then you can see, you can create a new wallet. You can set up your hardware wallet. And there's different networks. All things we'll go over. But I do want to stress how lovely it's been setting up the wallet with you.
Great. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to do something real quick. Okay. Sorry about that. So let me stop screen sharing. Great. So now I want to basically open it up to Q&A if that's okay. So in the if you want, on the bottom where it says reactions, you can raise your hand. And then once you raise your hand, I will unmute you and you can ask your question. If anyone actually downloaded their wallet in the chat, I'd love to know that. So if you could, let me know, that would be great. So yeah, are there any questions? Please raise your hand. Oh, let me see. Hold on. I might have to enable that. Hey, Adam, can you unmute real quick? Oh, I think I'm Adam, you there?
Yes.
Yeah. Do I have to do anything to enable the reactions?
No, I can raise my hand. I don't think so.
Oh, good. No one has a question? That is unbelievable. Does anyone want to raise their hand just to say hi? Ari, you are the best. Thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey guys. Thanks for the time, by the way, for going over this. So I got my MetaMask wallet a little while ago.
Nice.
But now I'm just trying to sort out, like, let's say I want to go on like OpenSea. I'm not sure if we've touched on that either earlier on in the presentation. I joined at about 1:35, but let's say I wanted to go on OpenSea and buy an NFT. Is it sort of, if you could talk a little bit about that process of now that, hopefully folks have made their wallets, and then how to, go about it. Cause I know OpenSea is sort of the largest sort of marketplace for, NFTs at the moment. So
Sure.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the question. Appreciate it. It was getting awkward up here without someone raising their hand. So thank you. So basically we're focusing a lot on the MetaMask itself, but I'll open it up a little bit, especially since we don't have a ton of questions. So OpenSea, like I said, it's the secondary market. It's kind of like the eBay or something like that, where you can buy, you can sell, and if you want, you can sort of put or mint, which is creation of an NFT. You can do that as well on OpenSea. And so the way to kind of access OpenSea is, first of all, make sure you're going to the correct URL again, because if I've had someone get scammed going to like the incorrect OpenSea. But make sure you're going to the correct OpenSea. You can check the links on their official Twitter and things like that. So always make sure you're checking. But once you go there, you can connect your wallet. Your wallet's really cool in Web3 because it's not only like storing your ETH and making transactions possible. It's almost like a login, so you can connect your wallet to OpenSea. And once you connect your wallet to OpenSea, then you can basically see all the NFTs that you have under your profile, and you can buy and sell. And so Ari's asking if you wanted to buy an NFT on OpenSea, then how would I do that? Well, the first thing I want to do is make sure that I'm going to the correct collection. And the way to check the correct the collection would be like, hypothetically, let's say VeeFriends, right? So if we're doing VeeFriends, I would type in the search bar VeeFriends, and there's a little blue check mark next to it to make sure that it's a verified collection. And that's the first thing that I would check. The other thing I would check is to make sure, and I'm being super safe, go to VeeFriends Twitter and make sure it's the verified Twitter, and it'll probably have an OpenSea link there to make sure that that's where the secondary market collection is. And then you could basically click on the NFT that you want. You can basically filter it by, lowest price or however way you want to do that. And then click on that, and then it'll say buy item. Your MetaMask wallet will open up as soon as you click buy item, and it will basically show you a breakdown of the cost that they're asking for, as well as gas. And gas is a transaction fee with everything. OpenSea might actually charge you a fee as well. So you want to make sure you're looking at the gas fee as well as the OpenSea fee. And then when you click confirm, it'll ask you to sign. And basically signatures enable certain transactions to happen. So there's a little bit of clicking involved. Once you click confirm and then sign the signature, basically what will happen is that you'll start to see kind of like a loading situation. And that's basically your transaction is being sent to the blockchain. The gas, if you have a sufficient amount of gas, it will go through pretty quickly, whether it's like within 30 seconds to a minute. It usually will confirm, and your MetaMask might say on the top, like transaction number 1 has been confirmed, and now you have bought your NFT. You can go into the OpenSea profile and see that you've basically bought it. Now, I want to talk about one thing. Let's say that you bought something and the gas fees spike during that time. So let's say that you paid, and I'm just going to use like dollar amounts or whatever currency you use, but a dollar amount. Let's say I used $3 in gas. But when I clicked confirm, for whatever reason, the gas, which always fluctuates with these transactions, goes up to $10. Then my transaction, that $3, will not go through until it drops back down. So a lot of times people might just see a pending transaction, their money is out of there, and you're like kind of freaking out. Either you can speed up the $3 to reach what the gas amount is, or you wait till it comes down, which could take a while, and however that goes. But that's how you would do the transaction. Always look at the amount, gas, and fees. Make sure it's proper before you click OK. So I hope that helped. So I'm going to ask to unmute Laura D. Hey, Laura, you there? Nancy, I'm coming to you next.
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you for asking a question.
Okay, I got 2 quick questions. Is the only way to buy a Series 1 right now on OpenSea? And is the place to buy the book tokens Token Trove? Are there other places? I'm just so concerned about being scammed that it's kind of like I'm frozen with doing nothing.
I live in a perpetual state of fear as well, Nancy. So that fear will aid you in the beginning. So good. I'm glad that you have some fear, to a certain extent. But yes, I mean, basically a OpenSea or I think Looks Rare, which is also a secondary market, are the only places right now that you can buy it. And the reason is those are the secondary market. We've already launched the Series 1. When we first launched it, it was on our website that we used to purchase them. But now that they're all sold out on there, that's why you have to go to the secondary market, which is OpenSea and also Looks Rare or something like that, to purchase one. And you're right to be freaked out. Like I said, a good way to go about it is to make sure that you're going to the official links. Adam, do you know if on the VeeFriends or what the official, like, is our official link for the secondary market on OpenSea on our VeeFriends account?
I don't know. I'll put it in the chat just to be safe, but on OpenSea it has a verified check mark. And it will say created by Gary V with a blue check mark as well. So I'll put it in here. I'm not sure if it's on our Twitter or not.
Yeah, the other thing would be like, you know, you go in there, you see the blue check mark. I don't want to encourage Nancy's fear, but like, you know, sometimes scams can add the blue check mark as a picture next to it. Like, there's really sophisticated stuff, but here's what I would say is that, like, if you went, it has the blue check mark and you see that there's like a ton of amount, and then you hit activity and people are buying and selling on it, then that's a good way to know that it's probably legitimate, other than going to our official link. If you went to a VeeFriends and you looked and you said it was spelled incorrectly, and like there's like the floor is like super low, and you click on the activity and there's no activity, probably not the correct collection. It's probably a fake collection. So Adam's going to post it in the chat, a link to it, and then you could always bookmark it, but you can always search in the search bar and then start to navigate. When you're not buying it, you can go see that it has the blue check mark, find the activity button. There's items and activity, and you can click on activity and you can see that there's what's been buying and selling and who's been doing all that stuff. And that's a great way to know that there's activity going on. If it was fake, there's not going to be a lot of activity on that collection. So those are some little hints and tricks that you could use to know that you're doing a good job. And so take your time. And the second question that you had was, yeah, Token Trove is the secondary market for Immutable, which is a secondary, it's a layer 2. It's the Ethereum blockchain, and then there's a bunch of different layers that are built on top of the Ethereum blockchain to hypothetically like solve problems like gas. Like gas on Ethereum is a lot of money. On L2, gas could be a lot cheaper. So that's why they create the L2s. And so the layer 2 of Immutable, that is where Book Trove, that's the OpenSea of the layer 2 Immutable thing. So yes, the answer is that's where you get the book games. And it's on a layer 2. That's why it's a little bit different from OpenSea.
Okay, and that's to get into VCon. That's where we buy those.
No, so book games, if you own a book games token, it gives you a chance to get on the friends list, which is a 26% chance for every NFT, book games NFT that you own, to be able to qualify, to potentially qualify. It doesn't guarantee you. Adam, do you have the information on any of the burns going on? Like if you buy a certain amount of book games tokens, you can burn them for a chance to come. You want to give that info?
Yep. So the one other way that people are able to get to VCon is through different combinations of book games tokens. I am checking to see if we have something I could share on this in the chat right now, but the rule right now is that if you get 5 silver frames, so within this, and this is more particular to this one question, but 5 silver frames of book games tokens, you can then exchange those for a Gary owned VCon ticket, which will give you that asset, which grants you access to VCon. So I think there is some more info on that in Discord and such, but that is the one other way. So you can buy 5 silver frames and exchange those for a VCon ticket on the book games exchange, which I'll link here.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I know I read that Gary said book games is still going to be going on even after this. So it's not a horrible idea to, if we buy tokens, because I can't actually go to VCon. So buying tokens isn't a horrible idea then. Meaning it's still going to be played in the future. There's probably going to be.
Yeah, and it might be a good idea to go to the book games exchange where a lot of the things are happening, and you can kind of see like, oh, I can trade this amount of tokens for that thing. Oh, I like that thing. You know, you can kind of start playing the little game in your head of like, that's fun to, you know, that's what something I would do or whatever. And if you, I don't know, when you said you can't come to VCon, I'm not necessarily sure why, but we also are the Series 1 people are going to be getting the NFT, which is in essence a ticket to the VCon. And then I'm sure there's going to be a lot of secondary market sales for that might be cheaper than the Series 1 NFTs. So keep an eye out for that if there's any chance, that you could go. That's another way that you could.
Awesome, thank you. And thank you for the links, because now I'm just going to bookmark these, and then I can go to Token Trove and know where to go. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Nancy. All right. Twitch or Twitch? I'm going to ask to unmute.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
Much love to the room. What's happening, man?
much love back to you.
Yeah, so I had a question. So obviously there is a lot of artwork when it comes to NFTs and things like that, and
Sure.
that sometimes can be a pulling factor in. But can you talk about just kind of different ways in ways in which you look into a project? Because obviously sometimes for me the artwork is a great pull in, but then looking a little deeper, how do you differentiate?
Yeah.
Whether a project has the legs that you're looking for, and does that make sense? Like
It makes perfect sense, and that's exactly what you should be looking for. So the first thing, so I do a lot of collab work with VeeFriends. So one of the first things that you want to look for is the team that's part of this project anonymous, or are they doxed? Which basically just means, are they do you know who they are? Like, we know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. We know Gary is the person behind VeeFriends. So if he was just some anonymous person, he could potentially rug, which just means like you pull the rug out from people. I'm sorry for all this like kind of Web3 terminology, but basically what it means is that, like, if you're anonymous, it's very much more easy to do something shitty, like not do what you're supposed to do, not follow your roadmap, not do all these things that you promise the people that bought your NFTs that you're going to do. You can kind of drift into the background and change your name and then redo it again. So one of the first and most important things to know is that team that's part of and I'm talking mostly about like profile picture projects, like 10,000 count of them. That's the first thing that I look for. If it's the artist, if it's like more one-for-ones art, like, yeah, art's amazing, and you can kind of basically like look at that. Like, artists one-for-one don't typically have utility all that much. But the other thing I would say is that you want projects that potentially have long-term vision. Like, what is their, like, if the person is not, if they're not anonymous and they say they have a long-term vision, that's something that's really great for a project, because that it's just not going to die. It's not going to just be that initial sellout. One of the things that people do, which isn't bad, is they say it's about a vibe, right? Like, which means that they don't necessarily have a roadmap, and they don't do anything other than, if you dig the art and the artist, and we're part of that community, then join the vibe. But there's not a utility, there's not a VCon, there's not merch that's coming up, there's not any of that stuff. But so those are some of the things that I look at. The other things I look at are who's backing it, like who's on Twitter, who's in Discord. I go to their Discord channels, I go to their Twitter. How many people are following? Are these people that I know? Are they people that I respect? And that's kind of how I start to vet it. Going to their sites, what history do they have in Web3? There's not a lot of people that have a history, but if they do, that's amazing. So those are some of the things that I look for, as far as like, is a project going to do well, or is it just kind of sketchy? And I've gone into all sorts of them, and you probably will too. Like Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is possibly one of the most popular PFP projects, for a very long time were anonymous, right? So there's always exceptions to the rule, but those are very good ways to find out whether or not it's if a project is legitimate and has a real chance of thriving. So I hope that helps. I'm going to try to come back to Laura one more time, because I think that's all the questions that I have. Laura.
Hi.
I
I have to apologize, because I actually didn't. I just raised my hand because you said like
Say hi.
someone raised their hand. Yeah. And
Nice.
and that's kind of why I raised it. But now that I'm here, I was listening to your last answer, and my question. I mean, I can think of a lot of questions, but I just on this one on the spot. When you're choosing projects as well, I'm a little bit confused. Like I have some of my brother's friends. They started an NFT project, and it picked up really well, and my brother invested in it, and it's awesome. And then I also heard of another a friend of the master's degree that I'm studying that also started an NFT project, and it's also doing really well. And I don't know where, like, if I should also look into their projects, or if they're just like, if like everybody's just starting a project and that's like the thing now, or
Yeah. I mean, first of all, awesome for just raising your hand and say hi. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. So you're the best. As far as your question goes, yeah, I kind of had a similar thing. Like I was on Facebook, and a buddy of mine posted some weird profile picture that I thought was like a joke. And I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But I think I saw some in the chat, like, what happens if I right click save it? Like, I was like, like I went straight up to find his wallet. I looked in his wallet. I saw that he owned 3. I saw how long he had his wallet. I saw all that sort of stuff. But I messaged him and I was like, hey, you bought 3? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, this project doesn't look like the best project. I was like, there's 7 people. There's 7 people in the Discord. Oh no, there's 7 people on Twitter following it, and they have no Discord. And I was like, it's a perfect recipe for a rug. And he was like, oh, it's actually a friend of mine. And I was like, and I trust him. And I was like, cool. I guess what I would say is that, like, you're right. Everyone has a project. Do you want to support them? If you want to support them, cool. Do you think that they're going to have the legs to kind of survive in it? Or do you feel like, if a friend of mine did it, I'm at the position now where I think I could probably buy one. But do I think it's going to do something? Probably not. So, like I said, it sort of goes back to what I was telling the other person. Like, there's exceptions to every rule, but at this point, I look for projects that are really that I'm excited about. That I'm excited about the artist. That I'm excited about the person that's behind it. And that's kind of where I'm at with that, and if they're anonymous or not. But that's kind of what I would say. You're the best. Thank you, and stay warm. Bye-bye. Okay. Photo boys, let's do this. Asking to unmute.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Very good. Thank you. What can I do for you?
Yeah, so basically my scenario is pissed off at myself, kicking myself because I didn't get through the toughness of I got a wallet, I've got a secret phrase, I have it safe in a safety, an action in a safe, and I wasn't able to get off the stick and buy the first round. Literally, the physical part of buying it is what drove me, to not be able to purchase it. Not because I didn't want it, just because I got lazy, I guess is the best way to put it. So I don't want to do that again. And I did buy 2 sets of the books.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've not activated on. I did send an email to the last group that I was in about what the steps I need to take to do that. And I really don't want to miss out this time. I want to be smart enough so that I catch on and make it happen. So to execute on the 24 of the books, what's the steps I need to take to make that happen? And I am extremely interested in what you just saying earlier about being able to attend VCon through that whole aspect of it.
So, okay. So I'm hoping, did you get the NFTs yet? Did you claim those?
No, I have not.
Did you buy the books at a time?
Yes, I did. I'm perfect, that part of it. So
Adam,
I have the record.
Adam, you know a little bit more about the book games stuff, do you not? Or is he able to still claim? Do you know?
Yes. So claiming is open till the end of the
Thank
year.
God.
Yes, I'm going to put in a link. The first one is going to be for all things gameplay and how kind of the tokens work. And then I'm going to put in a separate one. I think it's just VeeFriends.com/book-games. And that is where you can actually claim your tokens, and it'll kind of walk you through how to do that. And
And I'm
as
sorry
far,
for making you repeat the same thing you probably said
No, no.
52 times already, but
no,
you know,
not at all.
sorry.
This is
I
why.
was laughing because there's also a video that I shot. So you'll hear my voice again on the video of basically going to Token
Can't have
Trove.
enough of your voice. It's a
I
good voice.
appreciate it. But going to Token Trove, and basically, if you have a MetaMask wallet, you're going to link the MetaMask wallet to Token Trove, and it's just a bunch of clicks of a button. But the video kind of walks you through it, so it shouldn't take very much longer than a few minutes. And once you connect it, basically, you're going to hit claim your NFT buttons, and then you'll get those in your wallet, in your NFT wallet, on Immutable. So it's pretty easy once you follow those links that Adam gave you. You can go to VeeFriends account on YouTube. Those videos are all there if they're not in the link that Adam provided. But then there's also the exchange on our website, which hopefully there's a link in there for that as well, which you can take a look. As I was telling, it might have been Nancy, I was telling that that you can look at all the exchanges. You can look at the VCon, how much it costs. Like there was the 5 NFTs. Like you might have one of the most rare tokens for all you know. You know what I mean? Like, so you can start to look at what you got. You can start to look at your options. You can look at things that you like, kind of have fun with that once you do it. And then if you're in Discord, there's always information on the side about all that stuff. And we do a good job of kind of giving a breakdown of step by step. So, yeah, as long as you can claim now, you're good. So hopefully you got an amazing rare thing.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that'll be amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes me laugh because I'm kicking myself because I was right there with the whole damn thing. In the story, half an ETH. Some of them were at. I was waiting for it to, oh man, I'm pissed because ETH was high. I'm like, I'm not spending 4 ETH, god damn it. And who knew? Gary knew. That's who knew.
Gary knew. Trust me, we've all been there. We've all made those mistakes. We're early, so we're probably all going to be still okay. So, so check that stuff out, and thank you for asking a question. I
Awesome.
appreciate you. It seems like you're a busy guy, so I can understand why you're you got a lot going on.
No, but I like the whole concept of it. I like everything about it, and I subscribe to his philosophy in general of how to do business, and that's what we try to do as a business. But being lazy just pisses me off, so I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to learn from the first one and execute. So good stuff. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you. All right, we're gonna have Brian. I'm gonna ask Brian to unmute. Brian, you there?
Hey, I'm here. How are you?
There he is. I'm good, thank you.
Good. Appreciate all the answers and questions, by the way. I think you guys are doing really good. Like I'm learning a lot. If you had somebody that like had a personal brand, which I don't, but I have people that do, but they're not artists, like what would your recommendations be for their approach of getting into NFTs?
Right. So, well, first of all, I mean, some people make fun of Gary's art, but I would say that like getting into NFTs. So art is one of the, like, I think, so art is the symbol a lot of times of what NFTs are, the picture, what it symbolized is. But the real cool thing about NFTs is kind of the technology. And what that technology is this smart contract, which the smart contract is what you put all the cool stuff in, right? Like the smart contract, you can put in the royalties. The smart contract, you can put in membership to VCon. The smart contract, you can, basically have a token gated experience. And token gated just means that if you have the NFT and you connect to a site and the site says that you have it, then you can watch a program that's only for people with that NFT. It's basically a key to a gate that opens up, and you can decide what the gate opens up to. So basically the cool thing about it is that it is transparent. You can see everything about it. Like, with art and smart contracts, people there's a lot of scamminess that goes on, but if you know what you're looking at, you can bring it back. Like one of the things that I hear all the time is, oh, I bought this NFT, and then like a bunch of people right click, save it, and then post it and say, ha ha ha, I also have this NFT, right? Like that's sort of the joke. But the thing that they don't necessarily know, or if they're just enjoying the joking about it, is that you can look to see who owns that NFT. You can look to see who sold that NFT to make sure that this awesome artist that you think bought it or sold it, it's coming from them. Whereas in art in the real world, it's such a hard thing to do. So the technology is solving so many issues that are coming up in a real way, that I think is the real cool thing. So your friends that have brands, like, the art necessarily isn't the most important thing. It's what their vision of how they want to implement this new technology could be. You know what I mean? And like, we do Fly Fish Club. The Fly Fish Club is part of our world a little bit, in that they have a membership to this restaurant in New York. Like, if you own the NFT, you can go there. If you don't, you're not able to. There's so many cool things that are happening, and we're really early. So a lot of these things are even kind of elementary. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you own it, you can come here. If you own it, you get this. But anything will be able to be put in these contracts that are symbolized by these pictures. And when things really start to get cool is when those smart contracts and what you can put in them really start to expand, and our minds can start to get blown by just what people can do with that technology. So I would say that it's not necessarily super important about the art. Maybe it is, but people focus probably too much on the art, whereas in the technology is probably the most cool thing, I think.
Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So they can elevate their brand by doing stuff, and good luck with them.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your question.
You got it.
All right. So David, I'm going to ask you, and then I think we'll be done. David, are you there? See, David, you there? David Tran?
Hey guys,
David
can you hear
Tran?
me?
Yeah, how are you?
Sorry about that. Technical
No
issues.
worries.
Doing well. This is a great meeting, guys. Really learned a lot. So thank you for the information. I'm actually at an ad agency and we're helping a client do an NFT drop. My question is twofold. There's a lot of pushback, mostly regarding the environmental impact of NFTs. We're kind of like vacillating between wax versus like something like Polygon.
Right.
Was wondering if you had any tips on how to overcome that hurdle with the environmental department for the client. And then number two, we're thinking in terms of drop mechanics. Is it better to just like connect a wallet on our website and have it mint there? Or do we just, create a ton of assets and just upload it to something like OpenSea? Like, what are the pros and cons with that?
Cool. Let me take the second question first. It really depends. Like, so OpenSea, the knock on a lot of the minting for selling on there initially was that it was a generic contract, the smart contract that I was talking about, pretty generic stuff. So people weren't like overly impressed with that tech. But they've started to do like manifold contracts, which are really great contracts, and the process is super easy. So I would say, like, depending on what your goals are, you can do it on OpenSea. Plenty of very established projects go through that way. Websites, I would just say, are typically like more. It's typically a more established project, like a VeeFriends or something to that effect. If they can accomplish that, if they want to do their own custom smart contracts, that sort of stuff is what I would say the really differentiates whether or not you should do it on OpenSea compared to your own website. Like, you can have a different user experience and things like that you want to accomplish rather than just doing it on OpenSea. You can point people to that website, doing stuff like that, having custom contracts, collecting information. Like if VeeFriends needs to get information about VCon to send tickets to someone's home or something to that effect, those are all things that you probably can't do on OpenSea, but it depends on what your goals are. The first part of your question, oh, that was a tough one. Yeah, the tough question. So yeah, the easiest way to go about it is that, like, you can do one of the secondary chains, like the L2 chains, Polygon, Solana, that sort of stuff. The ETH maxis that they're called, which are, like the big dogs in this sort of space, kind of look down on those, but there are definitely use cases for those. We use immutable X for ours. That's an L2. So I think the more we get involved in this space, people are going to be using those. Just as far as like just in general, like it's a really tough question. And there are definitely like some of the stats and information that's out there, and I don't want to talk too much about it just because I'm not like an expert in it. I've been told have been skewed to make it look a little bit worse than it is. But what I will say is this, is that the cool thing about the ETH and this movement is we're looking to change those problems. We're actively trying to make it so gas fees and the energy aren't an issue for the environment. That's almost like step one. That's ETH. That's the ETH 2.0, Ethereum 2.0. We've been waiting for it. That's kind of the joke in the space, is that it's a month or two away, and it's always a month or two away. But the serious business is that we are looking to find better ways to help the environment. And I think most of the people in the space are actively trying to get that tech, so we're not dealing with that, because we usually do. Most people do care in our, in the circles that I run with, people care, and they don't necessarily just want to do the offset, which is taking, if they're launching on ETH, just one of the things a lot of people do is they offset by donating to charities that basically help out in the environmental aspect of it. So that's one of the things that a lot of the companies will do, is just use charity to offset that. That's the simple way to go about it. But the more grand thing is that we're working on it daily to fix the proof of stake or something like that, which would cut the gas costs and cut a lot of the environmental issues out of it. And I think that that's something that people don't look at. People kind of like, people will criticize the ETH space. But I think the thing is that no one in the ETH space wants there to be an issue, and we are actively trying to change that. So in the future, we are doing it in a environmentally conscious, productive way. We're not trying to avoid it, and we're not trying to hide any of that stuff. I'm talking like we, but not me, but like people are. That's what they're trying to do, is to do ETH 2.0, where we're solving those issues. So I think that the easy way I would say is, A, if you're using ETH, you can do an offset. B, you can do one of the secondary markets if that's what you want to launch on for environmental purposes. And C, you can do a little bit more investigation, because like Netflix or something like that have even more environmental issues, but people don't have a real problem with those sorts of things. But you can find the information out there that that shows that it probably is not exaggerated because it's an issue, but like it's really highlighted some of that negativity. And I think that we're not given enough credit for actively caring enough to want to change it, and we are going to get there. So that's what I would say, is that a lot of these, and that goes to the right-click save thing, is that like a lot of these problems that happen, we're actually on the path to solving them. And I think that's, even though we're not there yet, we're going there. So I'm very hopeful in that way.
Awesome. Is there someone that I can connect with at VeeFriends? We're still in budgeting and scoping at this moment. So maybe, we can get some support from you guys, since you guys are clearly experienced in this area.
Yeah, Adam, is there, who would you reach out to?
You. I think you have a better pulse on it. I'm not too sure. The VeeFriends has done some cool stuff in the past. I think we're always here for Q&A and just like to help people guide through it. I know myself and Joe are always available, just to chat and answer questions and help how we can. But there's no like official, department.
Yeah, I do a lot of collab work. So maybe if you want to shoot me an email or something like that, it's jyo@veefriends.com. I can take a look and see what we what we think, and potentially run it up the flagpole if that's something there's interest there. I will say that we're super busy right now. We got our heads down with a lot of the classes and series 2 coming out. But yeah, send me an email and we'll check it out.
Cool, will do. Thanks, guys.
All right. So everybody, thank you so much for coming. We basically went from the very basic, which is doing MetaMask. Hopefully someone or most people that didn't have a wallet now have a wallet. And we've also talked about the most complex things, which is smart contracts and the environment. I hope everyone had a wonderful time. I know I did and Adam did. And we will talk to you soon. I think there's classes this week. Adam, did you drop the links in the chat for basically all the information for the slideshow that people can check out and and different links to that effect?
I'll put it in one final time. So everybody, this is the schedule for future classes and past classes. This is where the link to this YouTube video will go once it is uploaded, and also where you can find the Road to Series 2 slideshow that has all things setting up MetaMask, buying NFTs, transferring Ethereum, buying crypto, etc. All in slideshow on NFT 101. So everything will be in that sheet.
Thank you, Adam. Adam, did I tell you the best today? Did I mention that you're the best?
Well, I think earlier on you told someone else that they're the best for raising their hand, so I don't really know how to take it, but I do still.
You're second. You're second best. You're second best.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Laura was the best. Yes, true. Awesome. Well, thank everybody. Check we're doing classes, so check them out, and we will talk to everybody very soon. And thanks to everybody for showing up.
Thank you, everyone.